I'm staring at my phone, and the screen is literally hot to the touch. My thumb is hovering over the delete button, but it's like my brain has disconnected from my hand. Every time I refresh, the number jumps. 10,000 likes, 12,000, 15,000. But it's not the likes that make my stomach feel like it's filled with lead. It's the comments. Cancel this guy. How could you be so heartless? I hope he loses everything. I'm Alex, or at least I was Alex until 30 minutes ago. Now I'm just the guy from the video. It started as a joke, a stupid 5-second clip I filmed while waiting for my coffee. There was this guy at the counter wearing a neon green suit, arguing with the barista about the temperature of his oat milk latte. He was being a bit of a jerk, sure, but he wasn't doing anything illegal. I thought, hey, this is weird. Let me just record a snippet for my private story. I didn't even think about it. I added a caption, main character energy is reaching dangerous levels today, and I hit send. But I didn't hit private story. I hit public. I shoved my phone in my pocket and walked to work, the cool morning air feeling fresh against my face. I remember thinking about what I wanted for lunch, maybe that Thai place on 4th Street. I was so blissfully unaware. By the time I sat down at my desk and took that first sip of lukewarm office coffee, my life was already over. I didn't know it yet. I was just thinking about the quarterly spreadsheet I had to finish by noon. I remember the exact moment the shift happened. My phone buzzed on the mahogany desk, a short, sharp vibration. I ignored it. Then it buzzed again, and again. Within 60 seconds, it wasn't just buzzing. It was a continuous, frantic hum that made the pens in my pencil holder rattle. It felt like a live wire was sitting next to my keyboard. I pulled it out, my heart starting to thud against my ribs, thinking maybe there was an emergency at home. Maybe my mom was calling. But the screen was a blur of white banners, notification after notification. Someone tagged you in a post. Someone replied to your thread. New mention from @JusticeSeeker88. I opened the app and the world literally tilted on its axis. My heart didn't just stop. It felt like it had been plunged into a bucket of ice water. The video had 3 million views in 45 minutes. Let that sink in. 3 million people had seen my face, my stupid smirk, and that throwaway caption in less time than it takes to watch a single episode of a sitcom. But here's the thing. The internet didn't see a guy being annoying at a coffee shop. They didn't see the context of him holding up a line of 20 people for 15 minutes. They saw a privileged bully mocking a man who, according to the top comment with 50,000 likes, was actually a beloved local veteran who was having a severe mental health crisis. The comment said he had served 3 tours and was struggling to adjust. It was a heartbreaking story. It was also, as I'd find out later, completely fabricated. But in that moment, it was the gospel. Someone in the comments had recognized him. They posted his name. They posted a fake backstory. And then the digital hounds turned their sights on me. They didn't just find my name. They found my LinkedIn profile and started tagging my company's CEO. They found my Instagram and started leaving death threats on a photo of my niece's birthday party from 3 years ago. They even found the high school I graduated from 10 years ago and started messaging the principal, demanding they revoke my honorary status, whatever that meant. I was being dismantled, piece by people who didn't even know my middle name. I'm sitting in my cubicle, and the silence in the office is deafening. Usually, there's the sound of typing, the low hum of chatter, the occasional laugh. Now, it was just the sound of my own ragged breathing. I could feel the eyes of my coworkers on me, burning like lasers through the fabric of my shirt. They weren't even trying to hide it. They were all on their phones, their faces illuminated by the blue light of the very app that was destroying me. Sarah, the girl who sits across from me, the same Sarah I'd shared jokes with for 2 years, looks up. Our eyes meet for a split second. I saw a flash of pity followed immediately by a cold, hard wall of judgment. She looked away so fast, it was like she'd seen something grotesque.
Her face turned a shade of pale I've never seen before, and she started typing furiously. Was she tweeting about me too? Sitting across from the coffee shop bully right now? So awkward. Cancel Alex. Then the heavy door to the corner office creaked open. My boss, Mr. Henderson, walked out. He was a man who prided himself on being one of the guys, always ready with a firm handshake and a story about his weekend golf game. Today, he didn't even look at me. His jaw was set, his eyes fixed on a point somewhere above my head. He just said, "Alex, my office. Now." The "now" echoed in the silent room like a gunshot. The walk to his office felt like a mile. Every step was heavy, like I was wading through waist-deep mud. I could hear the blood rushing in my ears, a rhythmic thumping that drowned out everything else. I sat down in the guest chair, the leather cold against my legs. He didn't even wait for me to close the door. He didn't ask for my side of the story. He didn't ask if I was okay. "Alex, we've been getting calls," he said, staring at his computer screen. His voice was flat, devoid of any of the warmth he usually showed. "The company's social media is being flooded. Our Yelp page is down to 1 star. People are calling the front desk, screaming at the receptionist. They're saying we employ a hater, a bully, a monster. I've had 3 major clients email me in the last 20 minutes saying they don't want to be associated with a firm that keeps people like you on the payroll." He finally looked at me, and his eyes were like flint. "I'm sorry, but we have to let you go. Effective immediately. Security will escort you to your desk to get your personal items, and then you need to leave the premises. Your final check will be mailed to you." I opened my mouth to speak, but no sound came out. My throat felt like it was filled with sand. I was 26 years old, and I'd just been fired for a 5-second video I didn't even mean to post. I didn't even argue. What was I going to say? It was a mistake. I didn't mean it. The internet doesn't care about meaning it. They care about the narrative. And right now, I was the villain. I walked out of that building with my stuff in a cardboard box, feeling like a ghost. I got into my car, and for a second, I just sat there. I wanted to cry, but I was too terrified to even let a tear fall. What if someone was filming me right now? "Bully Alex cries after getting fired." I could see the headline in my head. I drove home, but I couldn't even go inside. There were people outside my apartment, 2 guys with cameras and a girl holding a microphone. They saw my car and started running toward me. I pulled a U-turn so fast my tires screeched, and I just drove. I didn't know where I was going. I just knew I couldn't go home. I ended up at a rest stop 2 towns over. I sat in the back seat of my car, scrolling through the comments. It was like a digital execution. People were dissecting every part of my life. They found a tweet from 2014 where I complained about a movie, and suddenly I was anti-art. They found a photo of me at a party in college, and I was a party animal who doesn't respect boundaries. It was a pile-on of epic proportions. I felt so small, like I was being erased. I tried to post an apology, but every word I typed felt wrong. "I'm sorry" sounded fake. "I didn't know" sounded like an excuse. I eventually just posted, "I can't believe I just did that. I'm so sorry, everyone. I didn't mean for it to go this far." That was the tweet that went viral, the one with the 142K likes. But the likes weren't support. They were people bookmarking my downfall. Night fell, and I was still in my car. I was hungry, but I was too scared to go into the gas station. What if the cashier recognized me? What if they spit in my food? I felt like a fugitive. I started thinking about the guy in the neon suit. Mr. Miller, that was his name. I looked him up. He wasn't a veteran, he was just a guy. The veteran story was a lie made up by a random person in the comments to make the drama juicier. But it didn't matter. The lie was already the truth. I realized then that the internet isn't a place for facts. It's a place for feelings. And everyone felt like I was a bad person. So I was a bad person. I spent the next 3 days living out of my car, moving from parking lot to parking lot. I watched my bank account dwindle as I bought fast food through drive-thrus, wearing a hoodie and sunglasses even at night. On the fourth day, I got a message. It wasn't a death threat, it was from a guy named Marcus. He said, "Hey, I saw what happened. I know the truth about Mr. Miller. He's actually my neighbor, and he's a total jerk. He wasn't having a crisis, he does that every Tuesday. If you want to clear your name, I have doorbell cam footage of him screaming at a mailman." For a second, I felt a surge of hope. This was it, my redemption arc. I could post the video, show everyone that Mr. Miller wasn't a saint, and they'd all apologize to me. I'd get my job back, I'd go home. But then I stopped. I looked at the footage Marcus sent. It was exactly what he said. Mr. Miller was being a nightmare. But if I posted it, what would happen? I'd be doing the exact same thing I did the first time. I'd be putting a stranger on blast for the world to judge. I'd be feeding the beast, and the beast is never full. If I took down Mr. Miller, the internet would just find someone else to hate. Maybe it would be Marcus. Maybe it would be the mailman. I deleted the message. I didn't reply. I realized that the only way to win this game is to stop playing. I deleted the app, I changed my phone number, I moved to a different state. I took a job at a warehouse where no one cares about my online presence. It's been 6 months now. Sometimes I still see my face in top 10 fails compilations. I'm the coffee shop bully. But I don't look at the comments anymore. I don't care what they think. I know who I am. I'm the guy who made a mistake, lost everything, and found out that the most important thing in the world isn't likes or engagement. It's the ability to look in the mirror and not see a villain. I still think about that day sometimes. The heat of the phone, the buzzing in my pocket, the feeling of the world closing in. It's a scar that will never fully heal, but it's also a reminder that behind every screen, there's a person, and behind every viral moment, there's a story that's way more complicated than a 30-second clip. I'm okay now. I have a small apartment, a cat, and a job that pays the bills. I don't have a platform. I don't have followers, and honestly, it's the best thing that ever happened to me. I'm finally just Alex again. Not a character, not a headline. Just a guy living his life, one day at a time. Drop a comment with your platform of choice. Thumbs up if you learned something new. Share this post with friends, and subscribe for more social media comments.